Take us into the penthouse suite, the grand piano, the city lights, the 40 million offer on the table, and the encounter you made that still haunts you 25 years later. What happened in that room, and what would you tell the younger Mike sitting at the table?
It was so dumb. We had struggled for a few years, and all of a sudden we started making progress. We're able to raise a bunch of money, and then just at that moment, the company came in and expressed interest in buying us. So on one level, it was exciting, and on another level, I hadn't really gotten my mind around the idea that we would sell the business so quickly because we were still relatively early stage. So they made this offer and just thought that the offer was too low because they themselves were valued so highly, even though they weren't that much ahead of us in some sense on our entrepreneurial journey. And the consequence is I was too aggressive in my response. The problem was that they really weren't worth what they were worth, and we weren't worth as much as I'd like to believe we were worth. And it was just not a smart way to handle it on my part. And I ended up basically blowing up the negotiation before, in some sense, it had started. The main thing that I should have done is I should have said, thank you for that offer. We need to think about it. We need to talk about it. I should have taken it back. I should have talked to my dad, who wasn't at the meeting. I should have talked to my wife. I should have talked to our initial investors. And then I should have, at that point, in collaboration with the others, come up with a reasonable response. But I felt like I needed to respond quickly, which was wrong, and I misplayed it. I wake up sometimes at 2 a.m. still, even though this has been 25 years ago, and I think, I can't believe how badly I handled it.
Greatness is forged in the fire, and that was definitely a hot, fiery moment, but it's interesting probably the wisdom you learned from that. Thinking about the book, Mike, you're teaching people with that story. Do you think there was a bit of ego in that, or was it just not enough wisdom and understanding?
I think there was some ego in it, but I think it was mostly misunderstanding the likelihood of success. And what I didn't realize was, no, we're very early stage still, and there's an enormous amount of risk, and it might go well, but it might not go as well. And just because you get a really interesting offer one day doesn't mean you're going to get another one for a while. I think that was perhaps the biggest mistake. There's an element of ego in it, but I regard it more as inexperience on my part and confidence, I guess.
Oh, I appreciate you sharing that.